So, how do you completely overhaul a student organization that's spread across a country of 1.4 billion people and do it in just 90 days? Well, we're about to dive into exactly how the new leadership of the Liberian Student Union in China did it, turning some really ambitious promises into a new reality in just one incredible, transformative quarter. This right here, this was their guiding star. And it's way more than just a catchy slogan. It was the operational compass that directed every single decision we're going to break down. It was a promise of a fundamental shift in how the union was going to operate. All right, so here's our roadmap. We'll start with that core promise. Then we'll see how they built the human and digital networks to actually back it up. We'll look at how they earned trust, dive into the data to see who they're serving, and finally, see what it all adds up to. Okay, let's start with that big idea, leadership to the people. What does that actually look like in practice? Well, it's about fundamentally changing the entire relationship between the people in charge and the members they serve. This was the huge challenge they were up against. I mean, with students scattered across dozens and dozens of cities, a top-down, centralized model just wasn't working. The real question was, how do you make a national union feel local, personal, and relevant for every single person?
And their answer was, well, it was radical decentralization. Instead of pulling all the power to the center, they decided to push it out to the edges, right into the communities where students actually live and study. The whole strategy was built on the idea that real engagement comes from local ownership.
And they did it on a breathtaking scale. Get this single number, 85 plus, represents all the new leaders and officials they appointed in the first quarter alone. This wasn't some small tweak. This was a complete restructuring of the union's DNA. So, how'd they break that big number down? Well, they created this really smart, multi-layered network. They put city presidents and provincial coordinators on the ground as direct points of contact, making sure local issues actually had a voice. Then they built these functional committees, pulling dozens more members into the core work of the union. It's a structure that's really designed for participation, not just command and control. And this slide, this really drives the point home, doesn't it? These aren't just statistics on a page. They represent real students, now empowered to lead in their own local communities. It's a powerful visual of that transformation from a distant central body into a true grassroots network. Okay, so you've built this amazing human network. Now, how do you connect everybody? Appointing leaders is one thing, but how do you keep them all on the same page? The answer was an equally ambitious digital transformation. The very first step was creating a single, reliable source of truth. They launched the union's first ever responsive website. Think of it as a central digital hub for announcements, documents, and resources, which basically ended all the confusion of having information scattered everywhere. Their digital strategy was so smart and so structured. First, centralize all the information so everyone's working from the same playbook. Second, streamline core processes like registration to make everything way more efficient. And third, use technology to actively get members more engaged and help them understand what's going on. And this is a totally fascinating part of their digital strategy. It's a chat with the Constitution tool. So instead of having to read through a dense legal document, members can now literally ask questions and get instant, easy-to-understand answers about their rights and the union's rules. It's just a brilliant way to empower every single member. But look, a new structure and cool new tools, they don't mean anything without trust. So the next pillar was maybe the most important one of all, proving their commitment to accountability through concrete, tangible actions.
And they did this by actually delivering on key promises. They held reconciliation meetings to heal past divisions. They provided critical welfare services, like helping 40 students with the super complex visa applications they needed. They reformed the loan policy. And, maybe most radically, they created a live public dues track.
You know, this QR code is so much more than just a piece of tech. It's a symbol of their promise. Any member can scan it and see a live, real-time record of all the dues payments. This is radical financial transparency in action, and it's an incredibly powerful way to build trust. Their commitment also had a very human face. By strengthening services like airport pickups for new arrivals, they made sure that the union's support was the very first thing a student felt when they landed in a new country, probably feeling pretty alone and thousands of miles from home. So they built the structure, they earned the trust. But who exactly does this new union serve? Let's take a look at the numbers from their first quarter registration, because it gives us a fascinating snapshot of the community itself. Now, this isn't just some random assortment of majors. You can see the community is heavily focused on the future. The top fields are computer science, environmental engineering, and international economics. I mean, these students are building the exact skills Liberia needs to thrive in the 21st century. And they come from all over Liberia. While the top 3 counties are Lofa, Bong, and Nimba, the data shows this diverse geographic representation from across the entire country, which just reinforces why that decentralized structure we saw earlier was so important. This really is a truly national unit. This chart is really telling. It shows the grit and the variety of pathways these students are taking. While university scholarships are the largest source of funding, a full quarter of students are self-supported. Understanding this kind of financial diversity is just crucial for building a community that's truly supportive and inclusive. So, after this absolute whirlwind 90 days of restructuring, digitalization, and trust building, what did it all amount to? What's the final result of this first quarter sprint? When you lay it all out on a timeline like this, the pace is just remarkable. In July, you have a transition. By August, a full digital launch. And by September, a completely new decentralized governance structure was already in place. We're talking from idea to full execution in just 3 months. Ultimately, what this 90-day report really demonstrates is a masterclass in execution. This is a community that didn't just talk about change, but systematically and rapidly built the human, digital, and trust-based infrastructure to make it a reality. And you know, that leaves us with a final thought. The principles we've just seen here, decentralization, digitalization, radical transparency, these are powerful tools for any community. It really makes you wonder, what's the one thing your community needs most right now, and how can you start building it today?